Hey guys, welcome back. We are on Vlogtober day 7. Oh, let me tell you, it has been a day. It has. So I'm not, like, sometimes I know exactly what I'm gonna talk about. And then sometimes I'm like, we're just gonna wing it. We'll hop on a video and we'll just see what happens. So, I think what I'm going to do though is I am going to give you guys a little rundown on the Dream Lab today. Today was our first call. We have calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That way we have one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And then I do record one of them and then I'll post a replay in the Discord. And I'm saying this because we're working up to it's probably going to be the first full week of November. Actually, it's probably going to be the second full week in November. I'm going to be honest with you because we're supposed to be moving the first full week. And as much as I would love to do that, I think I think that's going to be a lot for me to try to do all of it. So I think the second full week of November, we are going to do another Unlock Your Dream Life 5-day challenge. And we are going to open up the Dream Lab starting the third week of November for another round of people. So giving you guys little insights into it, I think will help you guys if you guys are looking for a program to help you work through just a lot of stuff, right? Nobody tells you that, like, when you become an adult, like, you have so much, it's baggage, but it is literally so much of everybody else's expectations and thoughts and desires and wishes for you. And a lot of times we don't even have our own, like our own life, right? Like we don't even, like, we're doing things that other people want or need us to do. And that is why the Dream Lab is so ridiculously important, because especially as neurodivergent women, we try to please people harder. We try to go harder and do more with that. And a lot of times we lose our own identity in that. We lose our identity in the shift of, like, growing up and having a family or getting married or being in a long-term relationship, a committed relationship. And so because of all of that, there are a lot of times we will have a hard time going after the things that we want, and that will eventually lead us to being resentful and frustrated and burned out in the end. And so my goal with the Dream Lab is to help women really get in touch with what they really want, because everybody is different. And sometimes what you really want is to have a business, is to be that girl boss, that CEO, that, like, have something that makes an impact, right? But sometimes we think we want that, or we know we don't want that, but maybe we think we want to stay home with the kids. And then it turns out we really don't. Like, there's all these different ways that things go, but yours is unique to you, to your story, and to who you are. And so in order to, like, take that kind of, shake off everybody else's expectations and whatever, and really hone in on what is it that I really want to do. And I can still wear these hats and I can still do these things, but we help find a way to work through all of the craziness, right? And it comes in stages. It's never just okay, we jump in and within a week and a half you're rolling and have a perfect thing. And that's why I love the Dream Lab. Every single So it's like a 6-week program, but I do like 5 weeks, and then we take a week to 2 weeks off, and then we have another week as a final week if you're going through this, like the 6-week program. That is the regular Dream Lab. If you're going through the VIP Dream Lab, you get that twice. There's a break in between, and there's a community involved in that. The women that are my like beta testers right now, they got in because they played all out in the Dream Lab Unlock Your Dream Life 5-day challenge. And so they got in and they were able to come in, and like we're working through the program now. And it's so exciting because I already am seeing wheels turn. I'm already seeing people like have this like these aha moments. And it's so cool to know that we have like a community built that's going to help support them. So the community aspect of it, if you went into the single one, is going to have a monthly membership for afterwards if you want to stay in so that you still have the support. If you really want to go back through it again, you can purchase the single 6 weeks again, and then you're in it for lifetime. For my VIP people, they get to like their actual coaching one-on-ones, because I do one-on-ones with the VIP people. And their one-on-ones are for 2 full rounds of the 6 weeks. So they get me for like basically almost 4 months by the time we have all the breaks and everything. And that is really cool, because if they want to double down the second time around, they can do that. Or we can start working with their family and helping like older kids or a spouse or somebody, kind of helping them to see, okay, maybe what do I really want to do? And can I like live my dream? And how do we go about that? And it's always so much more fun when you're on a journey like that with other people. So being able to bring in your family, and then everybody is on this journey and everybody is striving for their goals. And then you can celebrate together, right? And you can support each other. So if a bad week has happened in the house, everybody's going to be feeling it. But if everybody is striving for goals, then I think sometimes people who aren't striving for goals, you could have a bad week, but you could almost brush it under the rug. And then when people who are striving for goals are frustrated and extra touchy and extra sensitive about stuff, the people who aren't striving for goals can feel a little put off by that, a little irritated by that. And so having everybody on the same page helps to like ease that in a way, right? Plus, we want all the people that we love and care about to be doing the things that they want to do and excited and happy and achieving goals. So that is originally why I did the 2 rounds. However, I know that there will be people who will just go back and double down, right? They'll get to the end where they've got like a good thing going and whatever, and they'll take that little week or 2 break, and then they'll come back through and they'll go back through the whole process all over again from a new place. And then they can, okay, what's working with this new thing that we're deciding to do and what isn't, and they can kind of go through that. So either way, it's definitely worth it. And when you get the VIP, you get one-on-one, weekly one-on-ones with me for all the weeks that we are like actively actively in sessions. So break weeks you do not, but you still have the community for that time. So there's prompts in the community that kind of prompt people to like, okay, like today we were talking, the first week is all about where you're at now and really taking that inventory of where I am now, reflecting on what's working, what's not working, because you need a good picture of the like you are here star, right? Where this is where I am, this is what's working, and this is what's not. Because then when we go into next week, which is the dream space, that is a place where we can look at the things that aren't working and maybe we thought we had a dream that we don't really want. Or maybe we're in a space where like we need, like maybe we're doing something we don't want to do at all anymore, but we thought we did, and now we realize it. And now instead of continuing with that same dream that we thought we had, we can dream deeper and more and find the better dream, find the dream that we really, really want. And I always tell people, like, you go deep. Anytime you're journaling, anytime someone says, what's your why? Man, that why needs to be 5 layers deep. I'm telling you right now. That why needs to be so deep that it is in your core. Okay? It's not just, well, why? Because I want to be able to, you know, take my family out and do fun things with them. Well, why do you want to do that? Because I want to spend time with them and I want to make memories. Well, why do you want to do that? Because we only live once, and I'm not going to live forever, and they're not always going to be home. And I want to have memories to remember them by, and I want them to have memories to hold on to. And I want them to have a good childhood, or, you know, my spouse to have, you know, the best time that he can. Well, why do you want that? And you see how you can keep going, and you can always dig deeper. And then the deeper you get, the more ingrained it is in you. And you're at that space where you're like, okay, now I really realize I can say that I want to make money because I want to be able to take my family places. But now I really know that I want to make money because I want my family to have amazing memories and value the time that we've spent together. And that hits deeper, right? That's a little bit deeper. That's a little bit more like okay, we're talking values now. We're talking about time. We're talking about stuff that's not monetary anymore. Yes, we need the monetary stuff to get the why, to get the thing, right? But sometimes we don't. I can tell you that some of the best memories that I have as a child were being with my grandma in Indiana. I was born and spent the first 8 years of my life in Illinois. And my grandma lived in Indiana, and we would go visit her on New Year's Eve, like after Christmas, right? It was like a day or two after Christmas until after New Year's. And on New Year's Eve, we would get all of my stuffed animals. You know, I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. All my stuffed animals that I brought with me, and we'd line them all up. And then all of them would get handmade, like paper colored on costumes that would get taped on, and they'd get party hats. And like they got to have their own party. And every year it was the same thing. And I remember that so well. But really, what did that cost? Some paper and some crayons. And that was it. Some tape to keep it on. Like, that is a memory that I will hold forever, because it was something where everybody got involved and it was fun, and everybody was like putting their own spin on the costumes. And then, you know, it was something that I didn't get all the time. So really, the memories thing, you can kind of have that moment where it doesn't have to be all about money. But there's also things that we do want to do with our family. I want to experience the Grand Canyon, and I want to see my kids' faces as they're looking at it, probably terrified and ready to cry. But like, I want to be the one to do that. I don't want to hear about it because they did it when they were, 20 or 25 and they were with a significant other or their kids or something. Like, I want to be the one to experience that with them. So that being said, we go deep. We go deep on our whys. We go deep on our dreams, and we go deep on what's working and what's not, right? Because sometimes, like, it's all a mindset thing. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. But why don't you want to do it anymore? Because it feels stressful. Well, why does it feel stressful? Because I feel like I have to be perfect at it. Well, why do you feel like you have to be perfect at it? Because I feel like I'm not going to get views on something, or people aren't going to want it if it's not perfect. And then it's like, okay, is this a true statement? Have people ever watched your content, or, you know, ate your food or whatever, if it wasn't what you would deem as perfect? And if the answer is yes, they have, were they okay with it? Did they complain about it? And if the answer is no, they were fine with it, then you're overthinking it. If you don't want to do it, okay, don't do it. But if you really want to, but you're like being backed into a corner because you're afraid, then okay, it's a mindset shift at that point. Then we know we have to work on mindset, not on like doing something that we want to do or not. And so these are all the things that we break down in the Dream Lab. And, you know, we do, again, it's like the first week is talking about where we're at. The second week is talking about dreaming. The third week, we talk about getting clarity on those dreams, okay? Like giving those dreams actual foundations, right? And then the fourth week, we do, we talk about boundaries and values. You have to have like boundaries and values to give yourself some structure around it. And then we take a week or 2 weeks off depending on timing and where everything falls. Because I know like we're going to be going into Thanksgiving too soon. So we'll see where everything falls. I think that Thanksgiving week is going to be our I think it's going to be our 6th week. So then we would do our actual 6th week on the next week, I think. I think that's how it's working. But you, like the last week then, after we take a break and we're still doing our stuff, because that gives you a chance to actually put your plan into action. And then on the other side of it, we come back after we've got some of the plan, and then we break it into like rituals and things that we can put some magic into it, have some fun with it. But we want to get the basic stuff in there first, right? Like you want a good morning routine. You want a good evening routine. You want to make sure you're hitting all the points in your evening routine and your morning routine that you need to make your day easier depending on what it is that you need. And so everybody's is going to be different. But those are some of the structural things that we talk about, where we talk about non-negotiables, like our skeleton crew of these are things that like have to be done every day or every week or whatever. And if they're not, like there's a problem that's going to happen because of it. And then we go into the more fun stuff. We put the more, you know, the spin on it. We put the fun into it. Because you need fun, because if it's not fun, then it's going to feel boring and like a to-do list, and you're not going to want to do it. So we get, like I said, the beginnings of it. We have like basically a week or 2 weeks of just getting through the motions. And yeah, it's going to be hard. And some people will not be able to do it until they sprinkle the fun into it. But that being said, we're going to at least attempt to try to get that started. Because if we start saying, okay, like, I want an evening routine, and I want a morning routine, and I want an exercise routine, and I want a meal plan, and I want a meal prep, and I want this routine, and I want to spend this time with my family, and I want to, like, we add all that stuff at one time, it's going to overwhelm us. So if we start slowly adding stuff, and then, you know, you figure out what your plan is to add stuff to it, but then you kind of roll that out, like every 3 weeks or so, you roll out a new thing. And that gives you, it gives you kind of an excitement of things to look forward to for a little while that are magical and fun. And as soon as those kind of start to they might still be enjoyable, but they're not like as, you know, novel, if you will. Then we can start rolling out a new one once that starts to get a little bit more on the dull side. And it's still fun to do, and you'd still rather do that than some of the boring, you know, the boring mundane stuff. But you give yourself something new to kind of work on, and that keeps you in the loop and keeps you going and keeps you wanting to do all the things, and all the things work together. So that is the Dream Lab. Again, I think the biggest asset in the Dream Lab is going to be the community, because I can give you guys, I mean, I basically gave you guys the framework. You want to just take this framework, pull it apart, and make it your own and go with that, you can totally do that. However, you're not going to have the questions that I ask. You're not going to have the prompts. You're not going to have anybody, at least that I know of, right? I mean, you might tell somebody and have somebody, you know, work with you or whatever, but you're not going to have people, generally speaking, telling you to dig deeper and go deeper. And okay, you went like 3 layers deep. Come on, we need to go 5. So why do you want that? Or why is this a thing? Or whatever. And then you're not going to have the community. And the community is the biggest thing, because a lot of times when we are chasing after our dreams, we are also being told by other people, well, why do you want to do that? I can't tell you how many times I have had people tell me, Kim, I love you and I know you want to help people, but what you need to do is you need to get yourself like a 9-to-5 job with very predictable hours and a set schedule that makes good money, that you can go into work at the same time and you can punch out at the same time. You can leave work at work, and then when you come home, you can spend all of your waking time with your family and doing stuff with your kids and stuff. And then you can go to bed at night, you can wake up in the morning and do it all over again. No. I love people. I do. And I want to spend as much time. My kids are homeschooled, okay? They are home all the time. Even when they are in their rooms doing their own stuff, I pop in their rooms periodically. I will sit down in their beds and have conversations with them. They will come out and hang out with me during the middle of the day at times. I love my kids. I want my kids in my life. That does not mean that I want somebody else telling me what to do for the rest of my life, just so that I can have a set schedule, good money, and predictability. That doesn't do it for me. And I think that's the same way with a lot of neurodivergent people. We might want stability. Stability is a thing that a lot of us want, right? But at what cost? Like, I will not be in a place where I do not feel valued, where I feel like I am, that is my time, my energy is valuable. And when people don't see that, that is one of the values that upsets me. So I have a friend, and we talk about this a lot, where she's always, talking about how, like, when you get triggered by something, it's because someone has stepped on one of your values. They have hurt one of your values. And that is a big one for me, is I am somebody who's very different. And I've spent a lot of time trying to be what everybody else wanted me to be. And I lost myself in the process. And now when people try to get me back to that space, it makes me very upset, because I happen to love the person that I am. I happen to be very excited and very happy for the way that things are going. I see so much good on the horizon. So I don't like it when people try to make me play small. It does not work well with me. But that is the Dream Lab. Again, if you are at all interested, comment below, ask all your questions. It's really going to be a good time. And like I said, the support is top notch, because not only are you getting the support from me, but you're getting support from other women who are working on the same kinds of stuff as you. It may not be the exact same thing, but they are trying to break away from being everything to everyone else and still have some left for themselves, right? And you could still, again, I say this because I feel like some of us have this black and white thinking where, okay, either I'm all selfish or I'm all about somebody else, but I have a really hard time being in between. And that's where I say, like, again, this is where we can build structures if that is the type of thing that you need. And then you can be very structured and very devoted to that structure if that's what's needed, but it doesn't have to be a black and white. You don't have to choose one or the other. We can make it where, okay, this is my time that I get to do my thing that lights me up, that makes me happy. My dream, my goals get to be fulfilled too. But that doesn't mean we have to drop everything else. All right, guys, I'm Kimberly Cox. This is the Neuro Circus. This was Vlogtober, day 7. I am so excited, guys. I'm so excited about this month, next month. There's just so much good stuff coming out. I will have probably a few more days of videos like this, and then we're going to get into some more stuff that is exciting for me. So I will talk to you guys all later. Like, subscribe, share this with someone you think might need it, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.